Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTuber. The locals are dying and I haven't gone in well over a year. So, yeah, that's quite a start to this video. Now, if you guys are wondering why my mic quality is back, I'm actually recording this right at work during my downtime. And this all will loop back into what it is. And I wanted to do this immediately because this is something super important and it kind of dawned on me when I was watching this video by Brian F., which is what started this. And this initial tweet was about $15 locals. Our locals are getting too expensive, and it's not so much about the you are broke thing. And there's a lot that I do agree with people both in the comments and Brian F., right? But I want to give my personal take as someone who just had the revelation that I haven't gone in well over a year, and I can explain to reasons why it might be unique or different to some things, but there's an underlying thing. I also want to say that I don't think $15 is the core problem. I think that in itself it's fair. I understand it, especially someone who's really close to the dudes, at Low Kick Esports. Go check them out, link down below. Brian and Ryan and Jackson, they've been doing great work and whatnot. And at the end of the day, these places aren't exactly free. And again, I don't want to tread too much on whatever Brian F. has said. But with that being said, let me at least start with my own personal anecdote. By the way, timestamps down below. And of course, apologies for the crappy audio. Something I feel super important. This is something real in a sense. I have to get this off my chest. And I think me doing it, kind of in a sense, I'm on my ThinkPad, by the way, kind of almost to a loop back a little bit to how I first started is really nice. And it kind of reminds me where I came from. And that I'm very grateful in the situation that and by the way, this topic in itself is nothing new. We talked about on the podcast. Again, thank you so much for the channel. We've been going good support and whatnot. And again, guys can go to the podcast. We got Vibecast. So again, this topic's been brought up before, even in its own video. But let me go into full length. Again, let's start off with my personal experience as far as locals. So my first local was actually with, again, like I said, Ryan over at the place he used to work at, the game store. I was working full time. I worked over at Clorox. I believe I was a forklift driver at that moment. Not sure if I promoted it yet or not. And it's like, oh, cool. It's something so random and handoff, and I went there, right? But this is like at the start of SF5, mind you. So it's well over 8 years ago, I believe. That's how my things first started, right? And from there, the rest is history. I would go from loops of going, whatever I improved, and then that's when I really realized, oh my God, locals are the way to go, And then as time went on, I realized that I initially went for the whole esports thing, and then I ended up staying a lot more because of the camaraderie and friendship I actually gained. That's what I learned, the beauty of the FGC more than anything, right? I don't think I'd be where I'd be at, especially in terms of my channel or skill, if it wasn't for locals. So I want to get off the bat. And price was never something that I even considered, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, granted, it was a different time as well. And again, when you're fully paid, this, that, whatever. But there are several moments in my life where it's weird. It would seem like, okay, let's say this 1 year I'm doing really good. The next year, oh God, I'm struggling to find a job, or things change. And this would happen a lot, right? I would be super good, no problem. And then the next one, okay, this. And this happened a lot frequently, even when we went over to, they finally moved over to Chicago. This is no longer by my area. Or here's an example. First one, well off. Second, issues hard to really come by. Then the third one, I was fine and all, but I moved, so it was really hard and inaccessible to get there. And then, oh, okay, now it moves by me, now I can get back. Oh, but then the next year it's tough. And it wasn't until I kept going into this cycle of things being so inconsistent, on and off, on and off, on and off, right? And I think the probably most consistent actually was more or less when they moved over to Chicago. I think it was Raid Gaming. And there was a moment where they were trying to find different places. That one was tough. Like, that was when I was the most stable. And then when they did move to the other one, I was. And there was moments where even when I wasn't. And I can agree that when they finally had a nice, decent spot, and I at least was not as bad as before, I trust me, I took what little money I had and I would go to the local because it was just something, like, at the end of the day, besides all that, I definitely looked at it for the first early years, I would say, up until Strive, as a source to help, or maybe some likelihood of getting revenue. Like, the whole point was to go pro or grow the channel, right? Because I've seen with the light of esports, but at the end of the day, I was still a responsible adult. I seen it as a side hustle, and I wasn't the only one who seen it that. And in a sense, it's cool, whatever. It's not the mentality you should be having. If I'm being honest, I say that now as someone who's been doing this like 6-8 years in a sense. And after that, obviously, it's funny. Around that, like I said, the midway point, it was both for homies and for the esports. Now 100% I just purely go for the homie, and it's funny how I realize what the point of locals are, but now I just don't show up as much, right? And again, looping back, let me go back to the story of going on and off. did that. I mean, we did commentary too. BB Tag loved it. Again, supported the community and everything, but it was 50-50 at that point. I realized what it was, and at the end of the day too, is I invested a lot of time in everything, right? I am the philosophy, I'm gonna put well over 100 hours in a game, I better be getting some money, right? Like, unless your game's ungodly godlike, but even then, this is your point, because, I mean, for me, especially for a lot of you, and this is why the mentality comes, is that we could be at a dead-end job. We don't really know what to do. And, the prospect of UC Sports is really enticing. And to me, it was something, okay, I knew it was good. Like, to me, it's like, I knew it was possible, right? That's why I got Meditech in. It's 5 inputs. I came to the realization after Strive, which is why my mentality switched it out. Not switched, or did switch, but swifted? Whatever, I don't know what the word is. Was when I realized that the current state of FGC, as far as games and stuff, it consistently cucks me over. These companies care too much about bottom lines, this, that, whatever, not really the actual experience. Or their balancing is stupid. They don't care about people like me who are reactive players or don't play like a bitch or some other, basically, or my character didn't exist either. Like, these games just absolutely did not care. And even with like SF6 and Tekken 8, I just knew I was right. I came to that point. I'm okay. My goal is esport. Like, I mean, it's still kind of there, but in a sense, it's like it's not happening with the current state of the FGC. It took you guys forever to fix the input problem for SF5. And in rollback, it still sucks on SF5. I mean, it's better than delay based, but it sucks by rollback standards, right? And that's just one aspect. That's not even talking about the tour or how locals, right? But yeah, anyways, by the time with Strive, I started focusing a lot more on myself, because at the end of the day, that was my driving forces, right? But also, like I said, one of the biggest things that really fucked me over was like where I was the best at was COVID, 2021, right? And then that threw everything into a spiral. It's funny because I was in really good periods, actually, far more than any other time. I had time and money, but the schedules just simply did not overlap with locals. It was simply an inconvenience, in a sense. That's what really fucked me. So my personal story. So there could be people, I feel, that are in a sense that they have time and money. They just do not correlate with the hours, or they're too inconvenient. And I think this is at the final end of the story, and this is why primarily this daily, right? Say right now I am working 1 to 9. Probably the most available to come in, but no, I still gotta get my other job. And it's to the point where now it's just too convenient to play online. Why do I really? And again, I still go to friends. I talk to them on Discord and everything. So if I don't go for friends, it's too inconvenient and it's too expensive. Why really go to locals? I think for any one of these reasons, people just don't go. And I mean, I might actually visit more now, more than ever. But yeah, no, that's just my personal story in a long sense. I still do. At the end of the day, it's something I will still do in forever. That's why, again, I want to make this video to support, and I'll be going probably now more than ever when I can. It's just tiring, but I want to talk about the whole price thing. I think $15 is fair, given the circumstance and what it is. But the problem is, this is the number one, I think, that is the issue we can get off the bat. Price is a lot to do with it, right? And mind you, I'm able, but the way it is now, I wouldn't even have the spare money to get that bus stop. That's the real issue. I think that even if they were to somehow make it cheaper, it wouldn't change anything. The current state of the economy just is not stable enough. Anywhere, really. Not just America. I'm speaking somewhere from Mexico, and I'm currently stationed in Chicago, right? So I think even for JP, right? That I think the biggest elephant in the room that we want to get out the way. And to a degree, it gets some political, but nothing too crazy, right? I think there is a lot of politics, both with the American sense and the actual sense, that has also helped divide, right? Because again, COVID was the start of all this. People realizing just how much easier and convenient and viable it is to do online. I think that's one huge hit. The divide in people's opinions, especially in Western, I've noticed has really fucked over the FGC a lot. So people getting banned over opinions is the stupidest shit on earth. I don't understand that. And then, of course, again, when you're tired, long day of work, why go drive to annoying ass Chicago to people you probably don't like and get cucked out of money and only play a handful of matches? The local experience is only so good too. I should mention that. And yeah, I could just stay at home and play Tekken ranked or some bullshit. That is just the current state. But again, going back to the whole money thing, I think the real issue is that people barely even have money to get groceries. Like I said, I've talked about this in the livecast before. Nothing too crazy, and I'll put this up just because it's to help further reiterate my point. It's just the cost is just not there, especially when only the best where you can get the most people as a local venue is going to be in a city. I don't think they exist too many outside of like maybe New York or Chicago. and it's just too inconvenient for a lot of the people. Yeah, because think about it like this: who the hell has the money to live close enough to be in Chicago, or have the money to get gas like that? Like, it's just genuinely too expensive. I think the state as it is right now, locals, games, I said it's just. I would say it would be smart to go on hiatus until things boil over. Or maybe if they're doing, I would say barely or scratchy, but hey, it's good because at the end of the day, these places are really good mental health spots. And I can attest because I want a little bit more story too. I think I went to, not Frosty Frosting's, an event that they were doing, same location. And I felt so reinvigorated because it's been such a long time since I've been to a local, so I was super fucking happy. So trust me when I say I miss it. It's not like now that I'm in a better position, thanks to the recent job I got that helped me more financially. But I still realize that I am in a minority where I can have these things. And even with that being said, my current schedule is what it is. I'm best positioned. It's still like there's a reason I haven't gone. Even with this is semi-recent one, like 2 months. It's again, it's the convenience. I think that's another thing that really doesn't help. Besides the fact that no one can really go if they wanted to. Why would you when it's just a convenience? Especially, I would say for Western and Japan, convenience, especially America, convenience is king. We've seen it historically when it comes to industrialization, this and that. You can viably play comfortably, not competitively, in my opinion, comfortably online. Rollback is the standard now. There's plenty of people, probably more now than ever, playing fighting games online at the very least. And people host events regularly. Discords are fairly active, and people have met friends. VTubers, there's, name it. I don't think it's in the greatest state ever, if I'm being personally honest, but as far as you're just playing casually, as far as main titles go, side titles, you're screwed. We're in a very good spot. Heck, even I would, I'd even argue for side titles, they're not too bad. They host, apparently, some have beginner events and this and that, they're doing okay. I would say they're definitely in a better position. Not something I would recommend or be viable. But for people like, oh, no one really plays online forums. Oh, let me just go to a local. Even for those people, it is more convenient to just go online or, in some cases, go to Fightcade. Convenience trumps everything. I think that's another thing. Is, again, you don't have the money, whatever. Oh my god, let me use my last $5 instead of buying food or toilet paper. But you could just stay at home, keep your $5, not starve. And it's like, no. And I think, like I said, if I were to say the final factor, I can't really quite put my finger on it. It's mainly those two primarily. But I think the drive to really go is dying down a bit. For me personally, especially like as an esports thing, people are saying that is, again, whether people want to admit or not, that is, people go for a dream, a hope, a reason. Even, again, it's competitive. And people, I think, really got burned out from the last years. They realize, oh, I get clapped, right? Because there's the events themselves. People can only go and do the same thing so many fucking times. It's boring. No one wants to go and get the ass clap for free. Again, I was watching a podcast and they mentioned some of these things that some of they did in their locals when they were able to do it. It was fun, unique ideas. Like, oh, if you come here, you play with a character you've never been touched, kind of thing, right? Like, I think there's another tweet that said that events are there's too many events with tournaments, but not enough tournaments with events. Yeah, that's what it was. And yeah, for me, it's as a casual one who doesn't even want to compete anymore, I genuinely don't see a purpose to go to a lot of big majors outside of like maybe content. And that's just from my personal perspective. I don't know what everybody else's view is on that. But yeah, it's a lot to take in. And the other thing is, I'm using this time and even the year before to focus on myself. So we all know I've been really focusing on the channel. It's monetized and everything, so it's been paying off. Think about it, convenience, money, and I get to focus on myself because at the end of the day, for me personally, fighting games was a way to try to get some side hustle or in the prospects of maybe not being broke as hell. No, seriously, this is an honest thing. It's not too crazy. I still did my responsible. I can't stress enough. Still have jobs, still be responsible, do other stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's a side gig. It's a hobby. Maximilian said it best. Yeah, do you have a hobby? Do you make money? Then that's a career. At the end of the day, like I said, even now, I will still always be invented to the FGC till my last breath because it's something I genuinely enjoy and have fun with. And if I make some side money, like I said, it is still my side hustle. It's like a little small. It's something I happen to make money for fun. I wouldn't say it's something I can live off of. I mean, mind you, I say live off kind of thing. But now I've gone and used some of that experience. I mean, there's a great tweet. I might do a video on that one, or I think I already did actually, where a tweet said about. I think I did. Yeah, the tweet said something about that playing in the FGC or playing to try to be pro is the biggest waste of your time. You could use all those skills to better yourself or get ahead in life. And I absolutely agree with that statement. Yeah, no, it was takes actually. Yeah, it was in my takes video. Go check that out about Yeah, this one right here. What FGC opinion would you find like this? And yeah, no, he's right. There's like analytical skills, adaptation. There's a lot of skill. Like getting good at a fighting game is not easy. It's omega hard. And I do have to agree. I would say there's a lot of opportunities, jobs, careers that I have gotten even now if it wasn't for fighting games. And now I'm taking full advantage of that because at the end of the day, I really do have to work on myself. I'm only so old, and right now I am in a comfortable position. Heck, I even was a little bit after COVID. But the reality is, I have dreams, aspects, and goals. Want to do more and achieve more in life. And I know where I want to go, where I'm headed. And the reality is, I need money. And as they say, time is money. And the FGC, sadly, currently, is not contributing to that. And at the end of the day, the final nail in the hammer for that was CPT tour being laggy as shit and still having to be online, and me not getting the chance to win $1 million because Capcom doesn't know how to make their input system. And that's when I was officially done with the FGC as a serious side hustle. Now it's just something I happen to make some money for fun. Like I'm done. And at the end of the day, like I said, I'm using my FGC skills. Like I said, I do stuff Twitch. You guys already know who are part of the channel, those who don't. I'm an indie dev now. I can't speak too much on what I'm doing, but I'm using my video gaming or my skills that I learned from the FGC to help develop a game. And that in itself is a bigger prospect and hopes of what I'm going to do into the future. There's a business venture I'm getting into right now. I cannot speak details. I might spend over 2 years because, oh my God, it's a motherfucker. But if I'm being honest, that tweet was true. Within a year, I was doing some stuff last year. I helped practice my skills and a lot more, and I should be able to get something out this year. And again, I have the prospects of this little business I'm doing, and of course I forgot what the other thing. I forgot where I was getting at with the other thing. I don't want to too much because again, it is very personal. And honestly, that year, for as much as I didn't get done, I feel a lot is going to get done this year, and it was well worth my time. I might have gotten $100, $200, $300 max from doing the stuff I did. Maybe who knows my channel, but at the end of the day, I don't think I would be progressing as much as I had, because at the end of the day, my biggest progression was right there. I don't think that filthy jury player should have won. I should have won that $1 million. It would have further aspect me right now as it stands, but no. Me not having to spend my time playing SF6 every single fucking day, only to get cocked again because Capcom doesn't know how to make their inputs, was well worth it. And that's what I can't stress enough is it's for a lot of people, I think if you're younger, you probably need this a lot more, these locals. But for people around my age, basically 21 and up, trying to get something like, it's just tough. I'm in the position where I'm not struggling like everyone else. So either you are struggling or it's too inconvenient. And think about it like this, right? You work full time, 9 to 5. Like, how much energy are you gonna have? And then do you want inconvenience? You just want to be home. For me, I can tell you right now, I don't work full time. I just simply can't. I've gone and realized about myself, I need my 10 hours of sleep. And on top of that, I have to watch my brother. And then the way my work schedule is, and I barely have enough time to squeeze. And I will try at least just to do it once a year, maybe whatever. But for the most part, it's not something I'm crazy about because I still got to invest in myself. And the FGC, to a small degree, still is. Again, it's something I just do for fun, having to make money. But I'm far more focused on my channel, Not so much for streaming. That's gone down actually, because again, and only my channel because it's part of myself in a sense. So, but super focused on my deving and my business venture, and of course work. Doing work and stuff, and it's good money. Because at the end of the day, I know where my goals are, inspirations. I want to do a lot of things. Holy crap! I feel like I'm gonna rambling on at this point. But that's just me, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's like. I would say I don't want to again because you guys can go check out those beauty videos, right? Like he says, it just sucks. Like I said, going back to the political thing that we have to, cars is such a necessity. In Japan it's not as big a deal, right? But in them, again, it's just money's an issue. I would say take this time to work on yourself. Try to really get yourself up there. But at the end of the day, most people probably are trying. They've given up on esports. Well, what can you really do? At the end of the day, this is going to be fun, venture, mental health, and it's just a really tough spot. And I don't really know what the solution is here, if I'm being quite honest. It doesn't matter how much they raise the price or they lower it, it really won't change that much. Maybe for 1 or 2 people, but largely no. Just straight up, no, I don't see it. I wish I really had the advice. I found out so much about myself, both biologically and mentally. And I had again around COVID time where I realized what my dream is, my goal, and FGC was simply one aspect of it, right? You know, it wasn't the end all be all. You know, I think that was more like self-recognition and gratification, whatever, but actual things like where do I see myself in the future? It just the like I said, current state of FGC and content creation is just not there, you know. But yeah, FGC really is too broke. I mean, everyone is. You know what? I guarantee you, we're not the only ones suffering. That is an honest truth. But yeah, sorry if I'm going on way too long. This is just something, you know, I really wanted to talk about. And I would say support your locals, support yourself. And again, the locals are a great support system. You know, homie, this and that. But it's like, do it if you can, if it's easy. But like, it's crazy, man. I really can't even, because at the end of the day, I was one of the biggest supporters for going to your locals. But not everybody gets the luxury to have a local. They're in a big city. It's tough. Oh my god, 21 minutes. But yeah, I think that's about as much rambling as I can go on. I'll next video or maybe podcast, you guys can check it out. I post a timestamp down in the comment below when I'll be doing it about the state of the FGC, where I'll be talking about games, whatnot. You know, I'm gonna bring up Virtua Fighter. But right now this is just like a bit personal to me and my goals aspiration. Like again, going back, like I said, I only work really 2 days, get paid really good. I work every single other day for my other job because it's not convenient for me to work for full time. It just doesn't make enough sense given my biology and the state of how taxation works for me specifically here in US, and I plan to move to a different country later on. And again, there's business ventures and whatnot. I'm not gonna get too into it, but I would say look out for any video game content I am posting, you know, especially my game deving stuff. I'll do devlogs here when I get the chance. Again, developing is a motherfucker. That's the other thing too. It's tough. I'm gonna be honest, it really is tough because locals really were there for me, and I don't think I would be where I am today if I was at locals. Like, to me, I feel the best way to put, if you're young, try to get as many locals as you can, maybe a year or two, whatever, and then try to do you. Take what you can from the people you meet, the experiences, and then go do you. I personally, until the economy really stabilizes, I don't see locals doing all that well. And again, even for like countries from Mexico where I'm from, the thing that sucks is a huge reason why we don't see as much competitor or even people coming for KOFs because there's no sponsorship or opportunities. And at the end of the day, say what you will, super focused, Japan and America are the core FGC as far as, you know, esports and whatnot. And if it's doing bad here, it's not going to do that great for other players. Who knows, there could be that specific, like I said, big shout outs to RD for really supporting the fuck out of his fucking locals. You know, until we get something like that, it's not going to be happening. I mean, I might plan on doing that something for my locals if things can work out on my end, but that won't be happening for the next 1 to 2 years, I'm being honest. So don't expect anything here within 2 years, maybe 3, right? And yeah, I would give it until 2030 until we really see locals make a comeback. By me, because right, like I said, look at the yen, and upset again, same for Japan. Look at the yen, bro. Look at how that's doing. But yeah, that'll end this video. You guys give me your thoughts if you would like to go to locals. And again, I agree, we're missing too many third places. How much would you be okay with if a local, say, popped up in your area, or you guys were by me? How much would you be willing to pay for a local? I mean, to me at this point, I think we all have to agree that local, I mean, they already kind of do this. They already operate with like almost no to little profit. I think locals to really be relevant have to work at a no profit or at a deficit to be relevant or still be around. So that's my personal take. Either break even, don't make any, or shut down and wait for things to boil over. That's my honest opinion, if I'm being honest here. I mean, either way, it depends. At the end of the day, this is time. Trust me, I know the guys writing this and that. They were basically working in neutral, maybe in the loss, and now they're actually, you know, things were going. And now it's like, there are some people, like, trust me, I know, that'll be like, I won't work unless I get my money or I get paid or my competent, you know. And to a degree, especially when you're a professional, that I feel that's fair. That's fair. You know, at the end of the day, this is your money, this is your hustle. Like, I think for those people, you can't knock them, right? People were trying to knock fucking, I forgot why, you know, Asian dude for SF. Fucking James Chen for charging for commentary and some rant. Like, no, like, this is a professional. What the fuck? And either the pros have to come and suck it up. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying do shit for free, especially if it's like an actual event or whatever. But I think for someone like the local artists, especially them, they're gonna have to suck up, whatever. But if that's part of your, then you're fucked. You know, like again, looping back, either break even, be at a net loss. I mean, if you're doing this profit, then basically break even. Net loss is not an option, or chill, have time, focus on you, relax, and then come back next time, or just do online stuff because that's way easier. But that's my personal suggestion. With that being said, thank you everybody for watching. This one was pretty close. Not too personal, but a bit close, you know, very serious. Again, apologies for the shitty mic quality. And yeah, no, that's all I got. Feel free, again, sorry, I mean tangent. Feel free to post your favorite local stories, how they might have helped you in life, and again, how much you would be willing to charge, and what specifically, maybe I would say games, or even then, if you're even excited or even want to go to locals, because I feel like the state of the HC as far as games is not that great. We do have a lot to look forward to, though. And of course, this is just convenient. You know, I mean, this is just convenient. You've gotten too used to the convenience, I would say, for a lot of you Americans that just stay at home and play online. But yeah, thank you very much. And remember, every day is great.